I'd like to start the show off with the song. It's new. Yeah. Which if a person practices singing it before they go to sleep for like 15 minutes, and when they wake up in the morning for 15 minutes or so, and really want to know why they're here. And the song has a promise that a person sincere to real guidance and a real education from the universal guides. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about imagination, this imagination stuff. Dwayne wrote that imagination is the key to the secret universes, that is, when it is properly developed within one and maintained as the reality it is. So if we imagination, we could, well, first I better say the four main attributes, which are true actualities from this real position of life, is purity, sincerity, gratitude, and humility. Until one becomes these more than anything in their life, they will not see the all is. Dwayne wrote those words. So I guess I'd like to mention a planet. If we imagine this planet, we'll call it Clarion. I think Paul Twitchell mentioned Clarion. So it sounds like everybody on this planet Clarion is pure and sincere, grateful and humble. And they're free beings of real light without restrictions. So I guess it's what's called something like perfection. Like maybe in the real universes where there aren't authoritarians and brutalitarians and trying to control what we think and do. So it seems like these are very important things for us beings that are here in the physical, to have the lessons that teach us purity and sincerity and gratitude and humility. Because here we seem to have what's called the rep systems: religious, educational, political, and then we have all these things, science, if you want to call it that, and what it has created, like fission and fusion and things that can destroy this physical realm or world, place, if it's used in a way that's not good for all. And so this planet Clarion, it sounds like it has pure air and pure water, pure food. And then we have this comparison of Earth and what we see here with our senses in this physical realm of pollution, of poison. We look down from Clarion and we see all this activity on this little ball in space, vehicles, millions and millions of them moving all over the place all the time, and things in the air, flying around, and things on the ocean. And they're all using things that poison the very air that we breathe here, and poison the food that we eat, and poison the water that it's so necessary in this physical. So it sounds like the real guidance at this time is very important for everybody on Earth and in these psych realms to get to a point where we got some guidance and education to know the reason we came here, and also to be able to not have to return here for any more what seems like hard lessons. So we look at imagination, image in how good things could be with the beautiful fruits like on Clarion, or in the crystal clear pure water, pure air, and the vitality and the health and that we would have from living with those things in our physical lives. Would anybody like to mention anything about imagining how good it could be in comparison to how we see how the Earth, how we're experiencing these things on Earth like wars and diseases and starvation and on and on. It just seems so opposite of what we could imagine as being a lot better, what makes sense to make things a lot better. Whether we have to deal with the causes, which sounds like alien interference or activity is a big part of what's making Earth the way it is right now. It doesn't sound like they're on a place like Clarion, any of this interference with or control. Anyway, I just thought I'd start off mentioning this imagination. Would anybody like to mention anything? Okay. I hope somebody's out there. Today I got a man called Steve Coburn, and he's with an alien evidence incorporation. He said he'd like to join us on the Blog Talk Radio show next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Saving Time. And he has machines and things, and he's discussing this evidence he has about implants and, well, many things about aliens and what maybe he thinks their intent is, why they have anything to do with humans.
Tim, can you explain that better, what this guest is going to be doing? Does he have a machine or some technology that he can read the intent of the aliens? Or?
No, he pretty much has. I asked him if he had a machine, and he has a variety of things that they're doing, all kinds of different ways, from radiation detection with a Geiger counter to he has a variety of different tests and things he does to people to see if they've been or abducted or many different things. I guess he'd probably be a lot better to explain that here next week. He did say that would work out for him to be interviewed next Wednesday. Mentioned to him that I had some experiences in my life with things that I don't know what actually they were, like seeing light that pulsated and got faster and faster and brighter and then disappeared. And I'm looking at it as one example, and also things like seeing a giant triangle of lights all perfectly spaced apart like bowling pins, but it was real huge going across the night sky out in space, and wondering about these things, like when the vehicle's driving along and all of a sudden it stops running and for no reason at all, and then in a little while after it's been on the side of the road with no power, all of a sudden it starts to run fine again, like there was nothing the matter with it at all. And
we talk about tap lines too, and the aliens implant.
Has any awareness about the tap lines about how they're using us as beasts of burden for them in the ways that they seem to use us, human farming prison planet. Many things that only seem to be comes to an end, it sounds. For cycles, just like these reflections of cycles, and then we have to psych realms, and we wonder, were we there experiencing it, and we're just going through it again and not having learned our lessons about how not to use things. And so we have these aliens that have advanced technology and they seem to not be developed in other ways, and so they have to tap line others to survive. Aliens.
Tim, can you hear me? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You keep cutting in and out. Sometimes for a long period of time, you keep cutting in and out, at least on my end. So I don't know what's going on, but just thought I'd tell you. I don't know if Kelsey's listening or not. She has the same situation or not. Or Henry.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So many things, it seems like, and then we wonder in this reincarnation about whether we were the ones that were on Moldachak, or our very own world, or the other world that we were in a war with. All this, discord or not harmony